I haven't made a video in a couple weeks, and it's because I've been really busy. Like I'm still trying to maintain running a business and being a father and trying to make content that I enjoy, like that is new to me. There's so many things that I'm trying to implement into my life right now. I'm trying to do it properly, right? I don't want to half-ass a video. I express myself if I'm not feeling it. So I've been kind of just letting things go in a flow and doing it as they come. Running a business is not easy. And it'd be crazy if I was like, I know I'm going to tell you something you don't know, but nah, there's probably 1,000 people who posted a video today telling you the exact same thing I just did. But I'm saying it from the perspective of someone that has already done the impossible, talk about it in all of my videos, became a full-time musician, went on tour, like did all these things. I never really saw myself doing anything else. I went back into the workforce just to kind of try to get some normalcy of life back. And then I realized that wasn't for me. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my entrepreneurial route to the next level. I'm going to really start my agency. I'm going to really just buckle down and just work and focus. And it's been amazing since I did that, but it has not been easy. And I feel like people get on here and they talk about all the positives and they show these screenshots of their bank account and they talk about all this free time they have and they try to get you to buy a course and all that. But they don't talk about struggles from like a soul level and from a time level and from a neurological level. Like I am someone who has ADHD, so it is not the same going about my day with everything. And there's just a lot of struggles that I personally deal with that I feel like a lot of others do, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it. Man, we have to really understand ourselves in our head, and that goes for the ideas that we have, that goes for the plans that we have, the execution process that we plan to undergo, like to get there. And if we don't, then nobody else will. And, I kind of just briefly touched on it, but being a neurodivergent person, it took me a while to learn that, right? Because I thought everyone was on the same page as me, and they just simply weren't. On the counter tip of it being really hard to run a business, I also think anybody could run a business. They just have to find what it is that tickles like their brain in the proper place. For me, it took a lot of trial and error, but it also just made sense going from one thing to the other. And that's why I feel like I have a little bit of a unique story that can be told in a way that people can kind of pull inspiration from in whichever way that fits them. Something that held me back really far was being too stubborn. And I feel like being kind of hard-headed and being an entrepreneur kind of go hand in hand, right? It's kind of like the same reason I can compare being an entrepreneur to being a toddler or like my 3-year-old daughter, because when you have your mindset to something, you're just going to get it. I feel like in the time that I was really coming up, I didn't have people around me that were giving me advice that seemed like it would work with my life and with the trajectory that I wanted to take my life. Because it's like I was really blessed to have people around me that I was inspired by. I was really blessed to have people around me that were on totally different walks of life than myself. But I also made things work that, like I previously stated, I made things work that I was constantly told would not work and that I needed to find an option B for. So with that though, here I am now running a business and just all these different financial things that I'm having to kind of deal with and learn that they do not tell you. And those who know and who are watching right now know exactly what I'm talking about. But you can have a list of things that you're just learning about, right? Like, oh, how do I notice business owners do this thing? People do this. How do they do it? And then you learn that it's because there's like this unwritten kind of like book or rubric for the successful entrepreneurs, or not even entrepreneurs, but just the successful people, that it's kind of gatekept a little bit, right? Because until you enter into that level out of corporate America or out of like the 9-to-5 grind, you really don't see the benefits that it is. Or like traders. Traders are another example too. It's like those kind of get left in the shadows and people don't even think that they're real things, but it's like you have some people, they're not even working and they're not even getting out of bed. All they're doing is they really, really learn the market, and that is what they do to make their income. But they're making more than half these corporation CEOs are even making. It's crazy. And I don't know, I think it's on the same side of, wishing I kind of would have taken my own advice or even the advice that was around me. I also wish I would have paid attention to who was around me, because as I can say, like I was just talking about, I had all these great people that I was around and that I could be inspired by. I also was just very open and very kind and just willing to be around anybody. So what that would do is it would bring around people that would naturally just kind of bring me down without me even noticing. you know? So it's almost like these temporary feelings and these temporary instances really can be, I guess for lack of a better word, like the devil to your mission, right? Because all it takes is one little distraction or one little veer off the path for everything to just kind of go a different way. And I'm not saying this to be negative. I'm kind of just saying it as a form of self-awareness, you know, because I'm at a different point in my life right now, and like all these videos I make them in different parts of my apartment, and I am doing a lot of kind of just reflecting in this part of my life. And this is kind of the most like ducked off that I've been really too, and kind of out of the public eye. So it has been this year has been really, really interesting. But I really think that people need to pay attention to where things could go. And I know that sounds super broad, but like people get so worried about where things were and where things are that they forget that there could still be something after this. You know, it's like we want to take everything with a grain of salt and like live every moment like it's your last, yes. But it's also really nice to kind of take a step back, breathe a little bit, and just set ourselves up to continue growing. You know, we're not going to sit in this pot forever. We need to continue expanding and seeing what's next. I don't really have a goal for this video. I really wanted to get something out because I've been having all of these thoughts just been circulating in my brain, but because of how distracted I've been and just kind of busy with work, I haven't been able to get them out. But I find myself when I'm not able to express myself, I find myself almost wanting to even more, right? Like it's almost like an itch that you cannot get to, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I'm kind of just making this as you know, I'm trying to stay consistent in multiple ways in my life. And in the short amount of time that I've started to do this, there has been really positive feedback. And this platform has been life-changing to me in multiple different ways. I just want to keep embracing it, I think, and just talking with people that are interested in things that I am too. So, you know, if you tapped in this far, I appreciate you just for watching and just for sharing the space with me, sharing the energy with me. I'm curious, what does success mean to you? If you made it to the end of this video, I'm curious on this one question. It's like, what does success mean to you? And that can be a long answer or it can be a short answer, but what does that look like? Like, what does the word success look like to you in your life? I'm just gonna leave it off with that question because that's been something I've been thinking about a lot recently. And it's kind of been a humbling perspective to kind of go back and forth with myself about what my answer is. So I'm curious, what is success to you? Maybe that'll be the next topic for the video. But again, I appreciate you tapping in. I'm continue overthinking about my lonely.